It's about that time of day again. My name is Joseph. It's Wednesday evening, June 7th. Welcome back to your nightly newsletter. We're covering crude oil, S&P, gold, euro, and FDAX tonight. Crude is bearish with a spike in channels. The plan is to look for traps and failures up at resistance levels tomorrow while watching for a potential range-bound market tomorrow morning. S&P is range-bound once again this evening ahead of tomorrow's contract rollover, and we have a hidden support trend line giving us a great buying opportunity off the lows of the pendulum swing target going back up to the highs. Gold is bearish and trying to retest yesterday's low, and we have a hidden channel and the battle zone telling us exactly where to look for the most reliable trades tomorrow. Euro's bullish and trying to finish off a measured move tomorrow, and a short-term trading range is giving us plenty of clues to plan our trades and trade our plan on Thursday. The FDAX is bearish and trying to retest today's low. The recent failure is now telling us to look for selling opportunities at higher prices tomorrow. I have an absolutely fantastic newsletter in store for you guys and gals. We got some big ranges in today's session, some big opportunities setting up for tomorrow. We got some strong trends, some weak trends. We got some rollover. We got some news to cover tonight on the nightly newsletter. Before we jump in, though, I do want to remind you the only place to watch the full-length version of this video is on our blog at sidewaysmarkets.com. If you're watching the video right now on our YouTube channel, not to worry. There's a link in the description of that YouTube video. Follow that link and come join me here on the blog for the full-length version and all 5 analysis. Now, don't forget, while you're here, join the mailing list. I'll send you an email every evening when our nightly newsletter goes live. Follow me on social, lower left-hand corner. Many different ways in which you can follow me on social media. I'm always posting important charts, links, and updates throughout the day. Please don't forget to grab those charts. That's right. How easy is that? All the charts in tonight's video, you can download those charts and have them on your computer for tomorrow. Right where it says, click here to download today's charts, grab those. Below the video tonight on the blog, and you better grab your free pass. Do not miss your free pass. You're going to learn more with me in 90 minutes on that free pass than you will anywhere else on the interwebs. I can pretty much guarantee you that. Grab your free pass in the upper right-hand corner and come join me as a guest this week in the trade room. Don't forget, if you're brand new here to SOT, we got a great frequently asked questions page to cover the who, what, where, when, and why. And I'm always here to answer your questions, guys. Hit me up on live support on the right-hand side of the website and, of course, on the blog at Sideways Markets. What a great day today. What a great day today. It's a big moves, had some narrow ranges. Let's jump in and get ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday, June the 8th. Now, we continue this trend in this second full week of the month of June. We're kind of wedged between quadruple witching next week and, of course, the first couple days of the month, which, of course, happened late last week. So it's been kind of an uneventful news week this week. We heard a little bit of a heads up regarding tomorrow's Comey testimony, so markets will react to that this afternoon. That will probably be a non-issue tomorrow, by the way, now that we've all had a chance to read the testimony notes. The bottom line, though, is tonight we have major news from our friends in China, 10 p.m. in the overnight session. If you plan on trading the Asian session, be aware, right, anytime we hear about merchandise trade from our friends in China, we definitely want to pay attention. Well, tomorrow morning, though, all the major news is pretty much weighted to this kind of 45-minute, hour-long block here. We got the ECB announcement at 7:45. Remember, guys and gals, the ECB announcement is just like the FOMC announcement that happens here in the U.S. The announcement will be first, and then about 45 minutes later, you'll have the press conference, right? The press conference, that's where we get to see that unscripted live Q&A, and that's where things can really start to move. So that ECB announcement's at 7:45 tomorrow morning, but it probably won't start moving and shaking things around until about 8:30, 9 o'clock tomorrow, once we start hearing from Draghi, right, and we hear about what's going on at the live press conference. So be aware of that tomorrow morning, 7:45. Then, of course, typical Thursday morning, we have the jobless claims at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. You know, in all reality, I don't expect much out of those jobless claims tomorrow morning. This is a news event that is billed as a market-moving event, but it's not really much of a market mover these days. Be aware, there is news tomorrow at 8:30, right? But I would imagine, though, that's probably not going to move the needle too much. That ECB announcement will be the big news tomorrow morning. If you're trading gold, trading the euro, make sure you're watching that tomorrow. Nothing else really until tomorrow night. We'll hear from China again tomorrow night from the CPI and the old PPI tomorrow night. So another kind of quiet news day. Again, a lot of the headlines this week have been talking about the testimony from the old FBI director Comey. He released his notes today already. So it shouldn't be much of a surprise tomorrow, right? I'm sure it will suck a little bit of the personality out of the markets, like the S&P, like the gold tomorrow, to name a few. But it shouldn't surprise anybody because we already know what the notes look like already. And again, the ECB announcement tomorrow. So really gold, euro, S&P for the Comey testimony tomorrow. But we should have a pretty good day, though, across the board here as we wrap up this second week, I guess we're calling this, right, of the month of June. Now, a heads up here also, tomorrow is rollover day for markets like the S&P 500, the Dow, the Russell, the NASDAQ. All the E-minis have rollover scheduled for tomorrow. Remember, contract rollover, just because your broker says tomorrow's rollover doesn't mean we're going to roll over. We're watching the volume tomorrow. When the volume rolls, in this case, to the 917 contract on the E-minis, then we'll start trading the 917 contract. Okay, don't confuse this stuff with contract expiration. The contract's not expiring. Tomorrow is the official rollover day, which means either tomorrow morning or Friday morning we'll likely see the volume shift. There's a possibility it may get pushed back to Monday. It's all based on volume right now. If you have any questions about that, our beginner class covers a full tutorial series, a full educational course on the markets we trade, contract rollover, and of course all the economic news. Log into your beginner course, right, and check that out from there. Let's get started here this evening. We got a lot to cover here tonight. Crude, S&P, gold, euro, and of course, we can't forget about that crazy market, right? The FDAX. Crude is bearish with a spike in channel after today's inventory report. Sent prices $2 lower earlier this morning. The spike in channel tells us to look for traps and buyer failures up at resistance levels overhead. And one thing to keep in mind is that anytime this market moves this much in one session, we oftentimes see a range-bound market the following day. The goal is to sell high with targets going back to low tomorrow. And make sure you watch closely to see how price action reacts back at the lows, because that will tell you if sellers are accepting or rejecting lower prices, and thus will tell you if we should expect a range-bound market tomorrow. Now, as you can see, obviously, we cleared all levels of support here today, right? We spent most of the morning here kind of grinding lower here earlier today, and of course, all hell breaks loose when the inventory comes out. It was very, very obvious, right, that this market was clearly bearish after that happened. Now, if you take a bigger look at this, we're actually all the way at the low of a major daily chart trading range. So we are definitely very, very low on this chart right now, both in short-term and long-term, right, analysis. With that said, we can definitely see the new lower lows and connect those dots, those new lower lows, to line up for a spike in channel. Now, we talked about this in last night's newsletter. Whenever I see a spike in channel, really my goal is to find those swing highs and try to get short up at levels of resistance, right? So I'm looking left. I'm trying to get short after price goes up and comes back down, right? That's the overall idea. The market is, just by definition, after a spike in channel, already very low. So I don't want to sell low, I want to sell high. And to do that, we're looking for basically traps and failures up above the moving average, up at those levels of resistance. Now, what's really going to be important tomorrow is if we do get that move back down, is how the market reacts when it gets back down to that low. For example, a lot of times when we see a market move this much in one single day, a lot of times this is just too low and sellers aren't going to see much interest to continue selling. Now, we do have the $45 handle that's only a few ticks south of this, so we may see it continue to push lower. That's one scenario. So up and then back through the low, that will tell you it's good to keep looking for selling opportunities as the market goes lower. But watch for a bounce off that low, right? That happens quite a bit. And what that will tell you is the sellers are rejecting that lower price. If they reject that lower price, then you want to start thinking in terms of a possible range-bound market. Bear bias into a trading range, sell the high with a target going back down to that low. Now another opportunity here, right, kind of back this thing out a little bit, is if we do bounce off that low, again, scenario one would be go back through the low, right? That will tell you sellers are accepting lower prices and we can continue selling with them. If they reject the lower price and we get the bounce off the low, it may turn into a trading range and we'll try to sell back down. But like I said, we're at the lows of a major daily chart range right now, and this market moved $2 today. So we may see a little more fireworks. It may really run, hold a pullback, and now we have a reversal on our hands. So we definitely are watching to see. Right now, all we know is we're bearish. There's no way around it, right? We're not going to try to guess and predict the bottom, right? That would be trade account suicide, trying to predict the bottom of this market right now. So the goal is to get price up, buyer failure, back down, up, two-legged correction, right? Trap high, back down, just get it up off these lows so I can sell it back down. Now again, this is where we either go up, back down, and keep going, right? Do we keep going and continue through that low? That's seller acceptance of lower prices. And again, we have that $45 a barrel, only about, 80, 90 ticks lower here right now. That's a breeze for a market like crude oil. Or do we see price go up, come back down to that low, and then bounce? If we do, then we start thinking about a trading range, right? Range rotation. Buy low, sell high. Bear bias, so sell the high of that range. Or do we see it go up, right? Pull back, bounce, strength, hold the pullback and go? That tells you we got a reversal on our hands, right? Very simple. We'll start then looking for a new bull channel, right? New bull channel rotation. We'll buy the low of that channel. Hey, for all I know, we might see the price go up, keep going, hold the pullback and reverse, right? So that's another opportunity here tomorrow. Obviously, right, not for the sellers, but for the buyers. So we're definitely looking for price to go up, whether it, of course, buyer failure, right? Two-legged correction back down, right? Or we see, of course, simple trap and back down from there. It really all depends on, do we go up and through? Do we go up and bounce? Do we go up, bounce, and continue, right? Reversal? Or do we straight go up, hold the pullback, and we're going back, right, to retest where we came from, right? 47.77 is where all the shenanigans started here this morning. So with that said, get a pretty simple plan of attack here. Again, I want price to go up so I can sell it back down. One note, of course, is if we do want to be a buyer here right now, you're going to want to see some strength, strong move up, hold the pullback. And if the sellers walk away from this, you won't need my help. It'll be very obvious these bulls have taken control. It'll go up, new higher high, hold that pullback, and it will explode higher. If we see the explosion higher after that pullback, we know what's going on. The bears have walked away and given this to the bulls. The bulls, of course, will then try to go right back to where the party came from. One more thing to keep in mind, too, is that if we do run lower here through the low of this channel, anytime I find myself and the only option is to sell low, I'm always now looking for traps. So if price does roll lower here and we see some confirmation these sellers are looking for more, don't chase the market lower, right? We know, of course, market's going to be hunting for that $45 a barrel. We'll go looking for some longer term targets tomorrow morning in the trade room, but make sure you sell high even if the price starts pushing low. All right, guys, good play on the crude. Again, tomorrow, I hope we get a pretty big range tomorrow, but don't be surprised tomorrow if we do see a bit of a trading range environment, just because the market needs to catch its breath, right, from today's big drop down to that 45.5 area. Let's keep going, shall we? How about that S&P? Boy, I hope you guys watched the newsletter last night. If you did, you were ready to capitalize on this range-bound scenario we saw in today's session. Well, the S&P is still range-bound. I had a contract rollover tomorrow, and we would love to use this hidden support trend line to buy the low of the range using the 2-try rule on Thursday. The plan for a trading range is to sell high, buy low, avoid the middle, and focus on failures using what we call the 2-try rule. One thing that stands out on this is the pendulum swing coming off the lows of that range. That gives us a potential target all the way up around the prior week high, just shy of that 24.40 area. as we always say, the goal is 2 tries. We open up the session today inside the range, 1 try, 2 try, and back in. The size of that move outside of the range, project the size going back above the range, and it conveniently places us right about the same price as that prior week high. At the same time here, I am a little bit creative on this, right? Connecting the dots at the highs of this channel. This will create what we call a hidden channel, right? At this point, it's a hidden support level. And so now being inside the channel, being inside the range. Now, guys, I know you guys are busy people. I know you have so many other things you could be doing on YouTube and on the interwebs these days. I really appreciate you spending your valuable time here with me. I also want to remind you, if you want to learn more about how we trade here at SOT, we get a great free trial. You'll learn all the basics of our trading strategy, and of course, we execute that trading strategy every day with our advanced members, right, in our trade room at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Learn more about our beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels of membership on our website. And don't forget, I'm always here to answer questions. Don't be a stranger. I realize that most websites are automated recordings and robots do all the work these days, right? My wife and I, though, are always here to help. If you call the office, we will answer the phone. We look forward to talking to you guys and helping you reach your trading goals. As always, tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock Eastern Time with our advanced members. I'll see you there. Don't forget about rollover coming up in the next couple of days. Watch those low volume environments during rollover. And again, I think we'll do it again tomorrow night. Same time, same place. You got it, guys. 8 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night. Same time, same place for the newsletter. You guys be well out there. Be nice to each other. My name is Joseph. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye for now.